Hello everyone, hope you're having a good evening. Welcome back to Roy's Tips and Tricks for Windows 10. I'm a day late on my video, sorry about that. And one of the things that I wanted to show you tonight was kind of a trick that I learned in Office actually, and then I'll go into some tips with Windows 10. But if you have a Microsoft account and you're using Microsoft Office 365 or whatever the current version is, because this is something that's actually been out since I think 2016. Anyways, you can create a document, and you can even have pictures in here and whatnot. And then let's say for your work you need to email that into another department, or you need to share that with a coworker, or a personal life you need to share it with friends, family, whatever. And they may or may not have Office, and so you're not going to want to save it as a docx. But you can create it into a PDF. So what you do is you go File, Save As, pick your location, change the formatting, and go PDF, and name it, save it. Ta-da, it creates it as a PDF, and then if you have Adobe Reader installed or whatever your default for PDF is, it's going to open it there, and you have it as a PDF file, and then you can email it or share it however you share it from there, which is really handy. Also, Word will convert most any PDFs directly back to a Word document. And depending on, how it was created, it does a pretty darn good job doing its OCR, which is, the old way of doing it. You'd had to have an OCR program, optimized character recognition, but the newer versions of Word do that automatically. And they do a pretty darn good job. They do better than a lot of the old OCRs. Anyways, so that's one trick that I learned with Office. Another thing is, and this is one of the tips with Windows 10, let's say you're looking for a setting, you want to go into Task Manager, you want to go into, disk management, system settings, something like that. There's a really easy way to do that. And what you do is you come to the Start button here and you right click rather than left click. And you can see you've got Apps and Features, Power Options, Event Viewer, System, Device Manager, Network Connections, Disk Management, Computer Management. You got your PowerShells, both regular and admin. You got your Task Manager, so you don't have to do Control Alt Delete, wait for the user account control screen to flash, and then click Task Manager. You can just go to it right here, which is really handy. Settings, File Explorer, which is something that's been there since, I don't know, Windows 98 maybe. Nowadays they have it, on your start bar, but if you got rid of that or something or don't want it there, that's another quick way to find it. Search, run, shut down or sign out, and of course your desktop. So it's a really handy thing to know that you can right click there and get that button, which takes you to a lot of nice things. Another thing you can do is the search here. And finally, the other thing I wanted to talk about kind of piggybacks off of last week's information about the Microsoft account is if you are using a Microsoft account and you activate Windows, what it does now, if you have a newer version of Windows, is it will link your license key to your Microsoft account. So you need to redo Windows, or you're going to replace your hard drive or something. As long as you sign in with that same Microsoft account, Windows is activated. So what you do, and getting the media is even easier. That's another thing. Go to Google, search for um, Windows 10 Media Creation Tool. You can see I've already searched for it before. Um, Typically what you want to come down to is the organic results, not the ads, but I mean that works too as long as it's Microsoft, which in this case Microsoft isn't coming up in the organic results very high, so we're going to go up just because that is Microsoft, unless that's just telling us there's cashback. But all right, so close that, and you can come down here, download the tool, and you can create either a DVD or a USB flash drive. I mean, most people don't have even a DVD writer anymore. It's going to be a USB drive. It needs to be 4 gig or bigger, which is pretty easy to come by. They're pretty cheap. And you can create your media from any other computer. And once the media is created, then you go to the computer, replace the hard drive, of course, reinstall Windows. And when it gets to the part where it asks about your license key, there's a button. You just say, I don't have a key, and then it'll ask you to sign in. You're going to need the internet. You're going to sign in with your Microsoft account, and ta-da, you have your license. And then if you are wondering about it, before you replace your hard drive, you want to make sure you can do that. There's two ways to check. So one of the ways is, again, remember right clicking on the start button here, and we're going to say run, which you can open run with Windows key and then R as well, but then there, anyways, there's lots of ways to skin the cat with Windows 10. But go to WinVer and you'll see that it's licensed to your Microsoft account. Another way is to go search right here, and we're going to search for Activate, and we're going to go into the activation settings. And right here under activation, you'll see your edition of Windows, so you know which version you need to install. Because when you get that USB key, it's going to have every version of Windows as an option to install. So then when you go to install, make sure that you write this down or take a picture of it. You got to install the same version that you have a license to. And then here you can see the activation. Windows is activated with a digital license linked to your Microsoft account. If it says anything else other than that here, if it doesn't say it's linked to your Microsoft account, then this won't work for you. You're going to need your key, which there's other ways to go about and find out what that is. But anymore, there's basically not a need for a key if you're using a Microsoft account. Anyways, that was my tips for this week. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for watching.